Welcome to Chartroom. My name is Jay Sonk. Everything in this video is never financial investment or trading advice of any kind. Everything's just for entertainment, educational, and comedic purposes only. I eat red crayons for breakfast. Trading in the markets carries substantial risks. Never trade more than you can afford to lose, and especially be aware against high leverage trading. So for XRP, you guys know I've had these numbers, the 91 number, and I also had this top one here at $1, but I didn't have this one up here at 114, and all that really is the same phantom or key angle on the bottom. So if this is the key angle, let me reverse these. This should say key. So if this is our key angle on the bottom, based on this foundational area here, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. If this is your angle and it sets the precedence for this area being support 1, 2, and 3, we know we can use that as a key angle at the top oscillations. And when placed it here, it gives us reverberations. But when we place it here at the core, it also can give us a top. And when placed at the extremities, which is the highest wick in this area, which is right here, then it gives us this 115 number. So that number I didn't place on the chart because I wasn't expecting us to just go straight up there at the moment. Now I did give you guys this from last time as well, so you guys all have this on your old maps. I got supports closer to this area. Let me move this back. Closer to the top of this area. Let me get you that price, by the way. And it's closer to 73 cents. And I also have, I have a health that can appear there. So that means if we come back here for any kind of reasons, we're going to get some health. And remember, there's a lot of volatility straight up and down for XRP for a good while. And then I also have another health that can be built in this area or even on top of this area here. So if you're watching this video, the health is going to be here or here. So if you want to recreate this angle, you just need to, this is a 2-week chart, okay? This is a 2-week chart, so this can happen over a while. But recreate this angle here, draw that one, place it up there, and you know where the top is. Does that make sense? Okay, so if I'm buying XRP right now, I could be buying at a top, okay? Just like along this chart, we could be buying at a top. Okay. XRP is one that has active accumulation on the down bars, and it's on here back in 22. So in 2022, there was a lot of accumulation that was happening, the ramping up of money and of income coming on the down move. The real angle and number to beat was based on this angle right here. So this is another type of key angle. It's just the downward watch line in a certain way. So these angles right here set a precedence for us to hit many times. So when we came up to this area, it was hit and it was determined by what happened in the beginning. Okay, back in that. So we could actually add the word, if we wanted to, foundational key angle. But you guys had this number, foundational key or foundational dot key angle. So it's not just a normal key angle, but one that's a foundational key angle, which means that in the very beginning, its foundation told us a lot of what we needed to know. That told us where these tops were back in 2023, back in 2023 of July, back in December, back in March of this year, and then also in July and August of this year. So for the past several months, we've been just hitting this resistance, and all of a sudden we just break up above there, okay? But as long as the supply is absorbed and there's buying in the background, you have most of what you need. In this case, we have some buying coming here and then some more buying coming down here. But the increase in volume that I see, here's buying that happened, one, and then buying number two. The increase in volume on this may lend itself that we need to come back to these areas again in the future, okay? That means we might end up coming back one more time in the future for some of those kinds of prices. So I'm not ruling out us not hitting back again closer to the 20 or 35 cents in the future in longer term forecast. That's what I get from that. Now, previously, you guys already also saw that there was buying that happened here on this as we were coming down, and buying that came in here reading the volume spread analysis. So one could also interpret this as this was buying during this larger downtrend. And this is the sword cut that was created. And I draw that for you guys months ago. You guys had that for, I think, a few years now. This was here. Now that sword cut was closer to October of 2020. And sure enough, price rounded already on XRP right there back in August of 2022. So if there was buying here, that would have been accumulation area number one. this could be therefore accumulation area number 2, and one can construe this or even view this area as saying if there's buying here, even if it's ramping up, it's nothing compared to here. So that means this is going to be a very low demand space after buying was in the background. So therefore this background buying is going to be accumulation area number 1, buying. Accumulation area number 2 is up here at sword cut buying. And my only thing that I really believe is because of the ramping up the increase in volume, I'm still going to be looking for one more accumulation area. That's what I kind of sense in here. So it's my opinion that we may be coming back down to another accumulation area. And what we're going to be looking is Thundercut at 64 to 58 cents. And also the sword cut, there's another sword cut that was just created, and it's going to be this one where price just broke recently. Okay. So I'm going to be paying attention to these numbers in the future. That's closer to 56 cents and 0.50 cents. And that would be some good prices, some more good prices for a secondary accumulation for X. Do I have any other questions for my map on XRP right now? Questions, comments, thoughts? It's really hot. It's really high at the moment. I don't feel so comfortable buying it right here at these prices. I would feel comfortable buying it after see where this last green health was? That's where I would feel comfortable buying it, meaning if I was building on top of these lines. Just being at them is not enough for me. I really want to be building at those prices closer to the 91 cent, closer to $1, or even on top of 115. Get me on top of 115. If I got some good structure, then we can start talking about where we're going next. If we're going next, I also have tops closer to 228. And then the multi-touch flat, which is based on this core, and that is a core cluster, by the way. And then here, this is going to be our wick area here where we touched in the past. So therefore, I'm looking at a multi-touch flat. So that number for the multi-touch flat is closer to $2 or 198 to $2. So I wouldn't be very shocked if XRP is able to hit $2. This is another health area back before I was drawing circles, so that's a much older number. So we'll just borrow this circle to show or denote that health up there. So I'll delete that H, but that's how I used to put health. Now I just put circles so you guys can see where the next healthy area. So again, if I'm getting prices and they're building on top of $2, I'm going to be looking towards to go higher. So I'd feel more comfortable entering at $2. I'd feel more comfortable entering here. I was more comfortable entering with some XRP. I had obtained some XRP back during this segment down here, and at sword cut we were okay to buy, but that's a long time ago. So the next healths are closer to up here. One other thing I have for you guys is based on this oscillation here in light blue, there's a downward key angle. Okay, and this downward key angle, we call that a parabolic. If I take the distance of this oscillation, and I hit that oscillation approximately twice, but if I take the distance of this oscillation and I were to bring this up to its projection, that number is closer to $2.28. $2.28. So I'm still looking, that's the number is just above $2. So if we're able to go straight up without having to come back down or for a rest, that's where you may want to be looking to take or to see prices reverse or to take some of their initial big profits. Otherwise, you're looking to hit this area as it is and possibly come back down. A lot of this will be known. This is you got 1 day and 10 hours left on this 2-week chart and also the 1 weekly chart. If you see prices come back down to the number of 91 cents, closer to 91 cents this week, then what you're going to see, what you're going to be observing is that the same thing that happened, this core is going to be strong. And then we're probably going to be coming back down to the 50s, 56, 53 to 64 cent area, the thundercut and sword cut. That would be something I expect if we see a long wick stopping exactly there. So we'll know that's your big number. I'll watch that, and it's going to be big and very telling for what's going to be happening this over the next few weeks. But as it is, it's in a good position. I like it. Do we have any questions, comments, XRP?
So maybe $2.
Okay. Triple J says, I hear Abba say $2. Yeah, that's my $2 line right here. And if you're at 114, you're looking to make still another, let's see what percentage you're at. You can make, there's still possibly 67% money on the table, 68% money on the table.
And you're saying if it hits $2, it might just go ahead and hit 234 if it hits that?
If it hits $2, it might spike up to 234.
And what are the odds of that?
It's pretty high. It's pretty high but right at the moment it's not very high. At the moment, if I had structure here, maybe coming in to end of November, December week, and I'm sitting here and I'm stopping, then I'm going to say yes. There's something else on USDT.D I would use as a guide, and that would make the odds much higher.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, good. Anyone else? I'm going to put Triple J's number on here.
But all the money that's going to be flooding in, how strong do you think that resistance is? Pretty strong.
How strong is the resistance?
Yeah, the next resistance.
Let me check. XRP is one of the more popular ones, so don't be afraid. Don't be surprised when a lot of money rushes into this one. That resistance is not as strong as you think. It's just a multi-touch core. Here there was some volume at the time, but it was nothing compared to what was really happening during the buying. And then once we came back up here, there was a ramping up of the volume. So if it's any type of supply test, it's going to be telling once it hits $2 if the pullback is light or there's very little volume here. That's going to tell us that it's very weak and that it's more likely part of a much larger supply check. If the supply is lower here but higher here, and then we come back here and hit it again lower, then what we're going to see is that supply being removed, and they may challenge that again in the future to much higher prices. But at the moment, I don't think the real resistance is closer to there. I think the real resistance is going to be higher in the end. I'm going to check one other thing. I already did DP projection on the current one, and that's closer to that 234. Here, I'll show it to you again. The DP projection I currently have is $2.34. But I have something for you guys that I will do. This is what I'm going to draw right now, and it might be telling. So again, I'm looking at a 2-week chart. So I'm just going to draw this manually. Do you guys see how it's curving right here? Do you guys see that? And do you see how this is pretty much straight? I believe this is in alignment with the curvature. Okay, so we're going to need to factor those in. I might be looking at something like this. Okay, and if that's my larger curvature based on this parabolic, then a more proper DP projection might be closer to $3.70, somewhere around there to $4. So it might be much larger. It's possible that there's a larger oscillation at play, and we're gonna know that in the future. It's gonna be revealed because of all the smaller projections that is happening. I think this one, the one we're looking at right now, is going to be telling. That blue one I drew for you guys earlier, it's going to be really telling. If I'm able to build back at sword cut or on here and we're able to go up sometime in the future, I might be actually looking for us to hit $3. But on the menu, it's not really in the menu. But longer term, we can see that in the forecast. It's very likely coming in. Just the same as the sword cuts from the past reveal to us what's really happening, where the real truth of the matter is.
What's the mid phantom for that?
The mid phantom for this one's going to be mixed phantom. And that could be telling. Your mixed phantom is going to be something like, let's use this pig. It's flat. It's almost flat. Yeah, it should be flat. So
what about the parabolic mid phantom?
So yeah, that would put another emphasis at $2. The parabolic mid phantom is going to give us, maybe it's going to give us some resistance. It's going to give us another at $2. So one at $2, another at the $2. So that I would say that's going to strengthen our $2 resistance. That's good. Okay. So right now we have about closer to 3 areas on why we might be looking at the $2.
I'm assuming that a lot of this pump, is it because Ginsler's resigned? Has he resigned, or I think I heard something like that?
I heard something like that too.
He hinted about it. I'm not sure if he actually resigned, but he hinted it, and that everything shot up even more.
If he does, he'll be fired shortly.
If he gets fired by, it's gonna probably hit $3.70 in a couple of,
When President Trump went to that crypto, didn't he say the first thing I'm gonna do is fire Gary Gensler, and the crowd erupted?
Trump is playing his audience. That's all it is.
The DP,
Real good.
I know,
Real good. But
the DP projection is the Donald Trump projection.
It's the Trump pump. That's what it is.
Hey, sorry to interrupt, but I got 2 seconds. When I saw this morning the chart of XRP was at exactly 107, and I heard the Lord say $2.
There you go.
$2.
Better than $1. $2 is better.
Yes,
Yes.
dollars. Then while Jay was speaking, I heard, which is not the first time, $3, $5. And then I know Michelle's got some numbers. And I want to remind everybody, there was a night on a Tuesday night that the Lord said when it's going to happen, I don't know if it's just going to be one of those weird weeks. So I'm just...
Yeah, that price might be more at the end of the verse, at the end of the cycle.
It was one of
It's
those...
volatility that's coming
Yes,
with all this
yes.
craziness.
It's
That's
with all
possible,
the
too.
craziness. I don't know if you remember that night, Michelle. And I
I
think that's
do.
what the Lord said, that it was going to be one of those weeks, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
There's going to be
All right.
volatility with Kamala and everything. It's just going to be a lot. So have some orders set. Can't hurt.
And Prophet Robin has said prior, a while back, about $800 XRP. So, just keep that in mind. It could, from 800 to 2,000 is not that hard in crypto.
When he said he saw flash spike up, that was the 800 he saw, flash spike.
I have to go back to stay quiet, but yeah, just wanted to say that.
120 now.
It's about to hit 5 cents.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh my, I should have bought so much more.
XDC.
Pump it, guys,
Let me
pump
look
it.
at
To finish up XRP,
Oh, wow.
to finish up XRP here, from November 13, I wrote, even though this is their strong delay structure at the moment, and that was price bouncing forth in this area, and this area, a little bit here, okay. Even though there's strong delay structure in this area, in this current area, as predicted in the past, I will be more longer term bullish due to the buying shown in the VSA, and that's that buying on the flags I showed you in white here, okay. And then also here. The more recent supply removal, I believe, is happening around 0.75 cent area. So we cleared, and that was this area here, okay, closer to here in the blue. If price can build and sustain above 75 cents, I'll become bullish XRP possibly to 228. So if we can stay and hold above this blue line without coming back down, we want to be more bullish closer to 2 or to 228, which is again getting us around this area, the flat, the $2, and then the $2.34, somewhere around these areas is what I wrote. Okay, this would be the next DP projection. There's also resistance at 91, and structures above that phantom may indicate bullishness. So that phantom up here can also be the part of the 115 that we're talking about. Any of these structures above here sitting there, that's where another entry could be, which is basically where we're at right now, but we don't have any pullback, so we're just stopping there. There's also resistance at 91. Okay, that's why I wrote that. Remember, this crypto already experienced active accumulation. This means that we can see in the data professionals enter this market. Oh, sorry, this means that we can see in the data professionals enter this market. So we already saw them enter, and we want to therefore be looking for this crypto to move up. We're looking for it to hit longer term stuff. I'm not saying we're going to experience that those $100 numbers and the $1,000 numbers right here, but it has a chance. It has a higher chance of breaking up once it already has been accumulated. So this is what I mean by active accumulation. There's cryptos that sometimes take a long time. Again, this is a 2-week chart. So each one of these candles is 2 weeks. So we're talking about like 2020 here. This is a long time. And here, this is all 2023 and February. So sometimes these structures build over a long time, but when you can see the professionals entering the money, you're stacking the odds in your favor, because if they're bullish, you need to be bullish. If you're bearish and they're very bullish, you're playing against them. And you're generally going to be playing on the wrong side of history. So you don't want to be playing on the wrong side of history when it comes to some of these cryptos. Stack the odds in your favor using a map, using VSA, using the technical analysis that you may know. Any questions, comments, XRP, before we look at some of the other ones? Nardo said, what's the next resistance after 115? Nardo, the next resistance after 115 is $2 and the $2.34. Okay.
And then it'd be important for weekly close coming up too here in a couple days or day and a half.
Yep, day and 10 hours.
Yep.
Okay. This is the next health. It's the same health that I gave you guys last time. There's nothing new. There's nothing really new except for I just put, instead of an H, I put the circle here on top of that blue line. And for good measure, I'll even put the one here on top of the 234. Okay. But
It's at 120 now.
can it hit it in a single day? It absolutely can. Look at this one down here. Look at this candle here. Just one session or a 2-week span. This is how much it covered. It covered from 53 cents all the way to $1.43. So can it happen in just one candle? Yeah, it can. Yeah, it can. Okay. So just don't be surprised. Some of these things can happen in a single session. Can it fall that far? Yes, it can. Yes, it can too as well. So we're not counting out everything. I don't want you guys to throw everything into XRP, but when you line up the prophetic stuff, it makes it more likely. I would love some pullbacks and some structures here to actually confirm all of that. I would love a pullback for another entry. That'd be nice. I would love a few weeks building here, but that's not going to be the case. We may not be the case. We may just go straight up to 2, and then there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be appeased. And a lot of the people who are going to take profit here are going to be holding out for higher prices, and they may not get another chance. And they don't want to give them a chance, because the professionals, they already got in down here. They weren't chasing candles. Remember that. The professionals are not chasing candles, so they don't need to drive it up. All they need to withhold back, all they need to do is to withhold back the major part of the supply so that the retail market is in control of what's really happening. Because if retail bought here, they're taking profit. If retail bought here, then they're taking control. They're going to be taking and swamping prices. But if price can be pumped, even if they have to spend money past these areas, if they can pump it past these areas, then all these people will be in elation until approximately here anyway, which is that DP projection based on this oscillation. And again, that's closer to the $2, $2.14. So there's a lot of reasons why they're not in control. And that major bulk of that reason is they weren't the major strong holders. These guys are the ones. These guys here are the strong holders, not the retail market that can just, because they're going to take profit, right? The retail people are going to spend money. Oh, I'm going to finally get out of XRP. But right now, it's in a stronger position, health, let alone.
Jason,
yeah.
might be heading to 589.
589? Yeah, it is possible. You guys heard about that, all of that? It could be a season where we're hitting prophetic numbers. And by prophetic numbers, I mean the big numbers, like Intel numbers. I'm not in that camp yet where I believe that's just happening, but it's possible. Once these cryptos are in a strong position, it's very possible that some of those will be hit. All right. I want to really go into USDT.D. I don't want to spend too much time on XRP. Some of you guys can keep a look at it for it. 589 is a number that has been spoken of by the Intel communities for quite a while. It's a number that has been speculated about quite a lot. Some people believe 589 is an Intel number speaking in code and it means a certain thing or certain things, and other people believe it's a price specifically for XRP. If that's the case and price hits 589, then a lot of people will be locked out of getting these prices for XRP at these lower numbers right now, and they're not going to have any more real big chance to accumulate XRP at a lower price. Personally, I'm not in that camp, just so you guys know. I still think there's going to be one more season for cryptos to get some cryptos. I believe this is more likely the seed money season, and you're going to see a lot of cryptos still pump, but you also still going to see some major flash crash stuff happen later on. That's my personal opinion. Now, with that said, you guys remember my Q Market 4 report. I put it on YouTube. I put it on Patreon. You guys all have it. You guys, it's my battle plan for what's happening with these cryptos, how to navigate the cryptos. My numbers that I gave you guys was the 4.23, and the major number I have is 3.35. Now, the 3.35 I've had for almost over a year, maybe a year and a half, and the 4.23 I've also had for many months. So we stopped there exactly the other day. We hit there, this was November 10th, okay, on this 2-day chart, we hit there exactly. And then we bounced up and we're still there. And this number slightly raises every day for anyone who's getting technical, really technical, with the vortex around December 11th. So I think that what that means to me is that price is going to make a decision by December 11th, one way or the other. Okay, now let me just adjust that just a hair lower based on that wick side. Now, what I believe is happening is there's a downward oscillation based on this K angle, and the lower energy center at the time is here, and that means that we are going to be looking for this to possibly hit up and come back down back into this area. Now, my biggest tell is going to be when price is building below this area. that is when you need to be bullish again, cryptos. Okay, when we're on this side, when this one's going down, your cryptos are going up. Okay, this USDT dominance flows exactly the opposite of what Bitcoin's doing. So when this crypto USDT.D goes underneath this angle, you're going to want to draw it down here. Now in the video report, it's Q4, it's going to teach you how to draw that line. I'm not going to go over it again because I keep doing it, but it's basically this as our source point and this as our second point. So you're going to draw that angle and it's going to help you understand. Otherwise, just put a flat line closer to 4.23 and you're going to know approximately. Okay, so this is not going up, hitting support based on a flat, but you can just draw a little short flat line just to say, hey, that's closer to Jason's line. Okay, but basically this angle is going to be really telling. Is price going to reject up here? If it does, it has a higher chance of pressing through the angle. And when it presses through this angle, I believe we're going to be going down. Now, the Lord showed me a few days ago, and I made it, I think I made it public. I have to check. But at least for all of you guys, I told you guys I had a dream where it was midday. It was on after dive. I took a nap after dive in the middle of the day. And in a dream, I heard a voice tell me I need to not be so bearish right now in the market when it comes to the next bearishness. And I believe it was specifically speaking about USDT.D and the 4.23 resistance. Okay, I believe the Lord was specifically speaking to me about this resistance, meaning I'm not going to be so bearish as far as in the market in relation to this. And what that would look like is a big rejection. Okay, if we get to see a big rejection, you're going to see cryptos go up. But more so after that dream, I'm more in the camp that I believe we're going to phase through and going down. Now, when I'm bearish this crypto, that means that I'm bullish the market. But if I'm bearish the market, I'm very believing this crypto is going to go up. I believe when I woke up, the interpretation I was receiving was specifically regarding this area that I'm actually going to be not putting so much weight on it. Okay, not going to be like, yes, this is the end all be all and then another market crash is happening. No, I actually believe we're going to be phasing through at some time, either whether we're going to hit 4.25 and then come back down, or we're just going to hang out and just go below. And then we may get one more chance to get into position with some cryptos, and that vortex is closer or by December 11th, especially if we get right in that pocket. And then, just like I told you guys before, I gave you 2 weeks last time, right? We had 2 weeks to become really bullish the market. And I said, make sure you're getting some cryptos, buy some cryptos. I even gave you a list of a few cryptos that I think are going to do well longer term. And some of those cryptos are performing well. One of them we're going to talk about in just a few moments that I believe is moving into even stronger position than before. But primarily, when we see the structures appearing exactly where they're supposed to, with everything in the background that needed to happen, then we're ready for the next move. And that was a move down. Okay, so I knew, and I told you guys with absolute certainty, with a high degree of certainty, that we're going to be clearing this distance. And we did exactly that distance. Okay, so now I'm telling you guys again, if you're not paying attention, pay attention, because this move here is going to be really telling. When you see those cryptos and they start, and this USDT comes right up here, you're going to be knowing you don't want to sell any cryptos at that time. You want to have bought some cryptos at that time. Primarily, you want to buy something that's in a strong position in a map with buying in the background and the VSA. You're going to be looking to cover this distance. And then from here, once we're here, then we may be expecting cryptos to go down. You can see maybe $3 XRP during that time. You're going to see another move on Shiba during that time. You're going to see a lot of cryptos have a good opportunity. It's like a boat. I used to teach it like this. If you're in the sail, if you're a boat, right, and you're trying to take off, it's much harder to go against the wind. But if the wind is with you at your backs and you're going in the direction of the wind, you're going to take off a lot more farther than maybe another crypto or another boat that would not go as farther. So I'm really looking forward to this 3.35 number. Now, it's right here where I believe we're going to experience some rejection. I'm not in the camp that we're going to see an absolute crash right now. And the reason for that is because of this key angle that's here. Okay, so if I look and I imagine in my mind that we're down here and this crypto does that, right? And we stop here. And are we just crashing? If I look at the foundational area, meaning how it got started, the angle's about right here. And that gives us all the way to about May of 2025 for price to actually make a decision. Okay, so If price comes up and it steps around here, then I'm going to be looking for another crash. Otherwise, I'll be looking for, if we immediately hit it and we come back up, that's going to be a negative moment for crypto, but not the end of the world until we really come up here. And that's going to give me more time to respond to a crash like in the market, maybe at the beginning of the year. Now, this could happen also really quickly, just like the move down happened really quickly in 1 week in 1 or 2 weeks. And then another move could happen in a week or 2 weeks. And it can happen very quickly. It can even happen in a single day. But you will now have my report on what I believe is going to be happening in the market, just like I've been using this to predict Bitcoin and some of the biggest moves for Bitcoin. To denote that, I'm just going to duplicate this key angle down here and give you guys another square. So I really want this thing to be bearish. Another big thing that's going to be a big telling for us is if we get to 3.35 and I start to actually build underneath 3.35, I'm going to be also bullish the market and bearish this crypto. But that has not happened. This is the primary oscillation, and that means that we've been bouncing around between this area for a long time. This is all the way in 2019. Okay. So if we continue to bounce, the next bottom again is here. So if you know where the bottom's at, you know when to take an opposite position in crypto. So if I'm building down here, you know that you need to become bearish crypto when this one goes up. And if we're at the tops, you need to be becoming bullish crypto primarily. Okay, so I have that shorter term key angle resistance. You guys can put an alert on there. I'm going to put a little alert, USDT touching resistance, and I'll be here to share with you guys all in the community. And then there's another downward line based on this foundational area, and it's going to be, and I'm going to show it to you, 1, 2, 3, 4. So along this key angle up here, so we can add the word foundational dot key angle. Okay, this is a very large one, and that means that extension will be stretching out. So again, I have angle, so I have time to really respond. So if I'm getting a crash and prices are moving from here to here, I know that we're going to first stop along that line, right? And then the next stop along the line is going to give us up to here, and then we can go up. Otherwise, we can come back down. But those are the decision-making points here and here, and we can calculate them, and here. So in the future, all of this is going to be laid bare, and we can read it like we're reading the wind or understanding the energy that's coming in to these cryptos. So I'm going to also put an alert along that track, large resistance USDT.D. So aren't you guys are here because I'll be able to talk about these things as they happen with a higher degree of certainty as I have in the past with USDT.D, giving us a big clue about what is happening for Bitcoin, and what happens in Bitcoin happens in the market. Okay, any other questions? USDT.D. We got lots of crypto to cover. I want to talk a lot about it. Anybody else? Okay, 3.34. We're not there yet. We're almost there. Giving you guys these moves months in advance. Okay, maybe weeks, depending on how much time we get. Okay, the next vortex coming up December 11th. Get ready for it and watch it. We'll talk about it, share it with each other in the community. And if you guys are watching this clip on online for XRP, if you guys are watching this clip online, that's our website. It's $18 for the full month. You guys will get access and links to the live Zoom invites. There will not be a dive on the last Wednesday of the month, and that's going to be right before Thanksgiving here on the 27th. And on Saturday, I won't be here, but somebody will be hosting dive on that day. It's going to be Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. From what I understand, we're going to be having a special dive that day. But that's just so you guys know, the last month, and that's going to be our anniversary. So look forward to, actually it's Thanksgiving this year, our anniversary. I'm not going to have dive at the very end of this month, but you guys know I'm not trying to skip out on you. I'm just showing you. Just kidding. You skipped town. Where did you go? No, I'm going to do my best to be here. And then we'll be back on Sunday for WordRoom at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's get into some cryptos. Remember, this is never financial investment or trading advice of any kind.